If you clicked on this video, you already know what you came here for. You saw the title, Saturn in Aries, your sex life, something about to change, and something in you needed to know more. So let me tell you what I already know about you. You're not watching this at noon on a Tuesday while you meal prep. You're watching this late, alone. Phone brightness turned down. Maybe you should be asleep, but you couldn't stop scrolling. And when you saw this title, your thumb stopped. Because lately, something's felt off. You feel it in your body. A flatness where there used to be spark. A going through the motions quality to touch, yours or someone else's. You felt disconnected from your own desire, from your own body, like you've been going through the motions, but not really there. And in the quietest parts of yourself, the 2 a.m. parts, the parts you don't show anyone, you've been wondering something you can barely admit. Is something wrong with me? Did I break somewhere along the way? I need you to hear something. You finding this video right now is not a coincidence. Saturn is about to change signs. On February 13th, it moves from Pisces, where it's been creating fog and confusion around intimacy for nearly 3 years, into Aries, and your soul knew. Before your mind caught up, something in you recognized that this video was going to explain what you've been feeling and what's about to shift. You didn't just stumble onto this, you were led here right before everything changes. So here's what I'm going to do for you in this video. I'm going to explain exactly why you felt the way you felt, the disconnection, the confusion, the exhaustion of performing desire you weren't sure you actually felt. And then I'm going to tell you specifically, clearly, what Saturn in Aries is about to change about your intimate life. Starting February 13th. This isn't vague. This isn't good vibes coming your way. This is here's what's been happening, here's why, and here's what's about to be different, because something is about to be different, and part of you already knows that. But before I tell you what's coming, I want to talk about where you might be right now. Because if we're going to understand the change that's ahead, we need to honor what you've been moving through. Let me ask you something, and you don't have to answer out loud. Just let yourself feel whether this lands. Have you felt disconnected lately from your own desire, from what you want? From the part of you that used to know without thinking what turned you on, what you craved, what made you feel alive in your body. You've been going through the motions, performing, showing up physically but not really there. Or you've pulled back entirely, shut down, told yourself you're taking a break or focusing on other things when really you just don't know what you want anymore. And that's terrifying to admit. Maybe you've caught yourself testing, watching something you used to find arousing just to see if you still feel anything, checking if the machinery still works, and when it doesn't respond the way it used to, you close the tab and carry a quiet dread you don't tell anyone about. There's this moment. It comes late, usually when you're lying in the dark, maybe next to someone, maybe alone, but either way, feeling completely by yourself. The distractions are gone, and in that silence, something whispers. What if I've lost it? What if the part of me that could want someone really want them, that could feel desire rise up in my body without having to force it? What if that part is just gone? You haven't told anyone this because how do you even say it out loud? It sounds dramatic or broken, or like something must be wrong with you. So you carry it quietly. Wonder if other people feel this way. Scroll through content at 11 p.m., looking for someone, anyone, to name what you're experiencing. I see you, and I need you to know nothing is wrong with you. What you've been experiencing has a name, it has a reason, and it has an expiration date. Let me explain. Since March of 2023, Saturn has been moving through Pisces. Now, if you don't know much about astrology, that might just sound like words. So let me translate it into feeling. Pisces is water, deep, boundless, oceanic water. And Saturn is structure, boundaries, discipline, the part of life that asks, what's real here? What actually works? What needs to end? When Saturn moves through Pisces, it's like trying to build a house underwater. Everything dissolves, boundaries blur. What used to feel solid becomes foggy, unclear, hard to grasp. And in the realm of intimacy, Saturn in Pisces has been creating confusion, dissolution, a sense of not knowing what you want, who you want, or even if you want. Think about it. The last 3 years, has your intimate life felt clear, grounded, like you knew exactly what you desired and how to go after it? Or has it felt more like swimming through fog, going through motions that don't quite land, connections that dissolve before they deepen, moments where you're physically present but emotionally somewhere else? If you've been feeling lost in this area of your life, if intimacy has felt like speaking a language you used to be fluent in but suddenly can't remember, you haven't been imagining it. Your body hasn't been lying to you. Your confusion has been accurate. You've been swimming through Saturn in Pisces, and it's been exhausting. I want you to hear something, really hear it. The confusion you felt, the disconnection, the wondering if you'd ever feel truly alive in your body again, that wasn't a personal failure. That was cosmic curriculum. Saturn in Pisces was teaching you something, dissolving something, clearing away everything that wasn't real in how you approached intimacy. And I know it's felt like loss. I know it's felt like you were disappearing, but you weren't disappearing. You were being refined. Take a breath with me here. I know that's a lot to take in. 3 years of confusion, suddenly having a name. 3 years of wondering what was wrong with you, and the answer being nothing. Nothing was ever wrong with you. Let that settle for a moment before we talk about what comes next. And now, the water is about to meet fire. On February 13th, Saturn leaves Pisces and enters Aries. And I need you to understand what that means. Aries is fire. Aries is desire without apology. Aries is, I want what I want, and I'm done pretending otherwise. Aries initiates. Aries acts. Aries knows. When Saturn, the planet of structure, discipline, and getting real, meets Aries, the sign of raw desire and courageous action, something ignites. You're going to feel it in your body before you understand it with your mind. A restlessness, a hunger, a clarity that cuts through everything that's been foggy. The fog burns off, the confusion clears, and suddenly you're not swimming through water anymore. You're standing in fire, clear, direct, certain. This is the fundamental shift. Saturn in Pisces asked, what do I think I should want? Saturn in Aries asks, what do I actually want? And that question changes everything. I want to give you an image. You know how a fire can look completely dead, just ash, grey, cold, dark. You look at it and think, there's nothing left here. But if you get down close, if you really look, sometimes underneath all that ash, there's still an ember, still a faint glow, still heat, still alive. That's your desire right now. It's not gone. It's not broken. It's not something you lost and can never get back. It's an ember, buried, hidden, barely visible, maybe even to you, but it's there. And what happens on February 13th? Saturn in Aries brings the wind. February 13th, mark it, that's when the wind arrives. That's when everything that's been dormant gets permission to wake up. And when wind meets ember, it catches fire again. Not the old fire, not the confused, performative, exhausting fire you've been trying to maintain. Real fire, clear fire. Fire that knows exactly what it wants. So let's get specific. Here's what Saturn in Aries is going to change about your intimate life. First, clarity. You're going to stop wondering what you want and start knowing, not in your head, in your body. You'll feel attraction rise without questioning it. You'll feel desire move through you and trust it instead of analyzing it to death. That fog that's made everything feel unclear, it lifts. The constant questioning, do I want this? Am I attracted to them? Is this enough? It quiets. In its place, certainty. Not because someone told you what to want, but because you finally hear your own voice clearly enough to know. Second, boundaries. Saturn is the planet of boundaries. Aries is the sign of self. Put them together and you get someone who knows where they end and another person begins. What you tolerate is about to change. The situations you've been accepting because it's fine, it's not that bad, they're going to become intolerable. And that's not you becoming difficult. That's you becoming honest. Third, you'll take initiative. Aries doesn't wait. Aries goes after what it wants. If you've been passive in your intimate life, swiping without messaging, hoping they'll text first, waiting to be chosen rather than choosing, letting intimacy happen to you instead of creating it, that changes. You'll feel called to create what you want. Not wait for it, not hope for it, go get it. Fourth, endings. Saturn cuts what isn't working. Aries doesn't have patience for pretense. So anything that's been empty, situationships going nowhere, connections without depth, intimacy that leaves you feeling more alone than before, those moments where you finish being intimate with someone and feel more alone than before you started, where you lie there afterward wondering why you even bothered, that kind of empty won't be tolerable anymore. You might find yourself walking away from things you've been tolerating for years, not with drama, just with clarity. A quiet knowing, this isn't it. And here's the part most people miss, the part that changes everything about how you understand Saturn. Fifth, mature passion. Saturn doesn't kill desire. Saturn refines it. What's coming isn't less passion. It's more, but with wisdom, with staying power, with the kind of heat that doesn't burn out in a week. Intimacy that's both exciting and sustainable. Desire that's both fierce and grounded. That's what's on the other side of February 13th. Not less, not emptier, Not harder, clearer, more honest, more you. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Saturn sounds heavy. Saturn sounds like restriction. Is this going to make things harder? Let me reframe that. Saturn doesn't take away. Saturn clarifies what's real. Think about it this way. Imagine you've been holding on to 10 things: relationships, patterns, beliefs about yourself, ways of being intimate, and 8 of them, they were never really working. You were just used to them. Saturn comes through and removes those 8. And yes, for a moment, it feels like loss. It feels like emptiness. But then you look down at what's left. And the 2 things remaining, they're real, they're solid, they're actually yours. That's Saturn's gift, not less, real. Now, I want to tell you something important, and I need you to really be here for this. Put your phone down if you're holding it. Close your eyes if you can. Because this is the part that might make you cry. And that's okay. I need you to hear something, and I need you to really let this land. You've been so scared that you lost something, that somewhere along the way you broke, that the part of you that could want, that could desire, that could feel truly alive in your body and with another person, you've been terrified that it just died. It didn't die. Nothing died. You were never broken. You were an ember, doing exactly what embers do, protecting the heat, staying alive, waiting. And here's what I need you to understand about embers. They don't go out easily. You have to actively extinguish them, smother them, drown them. Left alone, they can stay alive for hours, for days. Yours has stayed alive for years, through the confusion, through the fog, through all the moments you wondered if something was wrong with you. Still there, still burning, still you. You didn't lose anything. You found what's real, and now the wind is coming. Stay with that for a moment. You, an ember, all this time, through everything, still burning, still here. That's not nothing. That's everything. Now, how this lands for you specifically depends on your chart. Let me speak to you directly. If you're a cardinal sign, Aries, Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn, listen to me carefully. This transit hits you at the foundation. For Aries, rising, or sun, this is happening in your first house. Your very identity is being restructured around desire. You're being asked, who are you when you stop performing and start wanting? For Cancer, it's your 10th house. How desire intersects with your public life, your ambitions, what you're building in the world. Libra, it's your 7th house. Relationships, partnerships, how you merge with another person. The restructuring is happening in the most intimate corners of connection. And Capricorn, your 4th house, home, roots, the private self. How you experience intimacy in your most unguarded moments. Cardinal signs, you're not getting a brush with this energy. You're getting rebuilt. Fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, your desire is about to amplify. The challenge isn't feeling more, it's directing what you feel, passion with intention. Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, you're learning to take action on what you want. No more waiting for the right time. The right time is now. Air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This is about words. Finally naming your desires out loud. Communicating what you need instead of hoping someone guesses. Water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. You've been underwater for 3 years. You finally get to breathe. Trust the desires that surface. They're real, they're yours. Wherever Saturn in Aries falls in your chart, that's where you're being called to get honest about what you want. So how do you actually work with this energy? Let me give you something concrete. Before February 13th, take some time to reflect. Ask yourself honestly, what patterns in my intimate life am I ready to release? What have I been tolerating that I know deep down isn't working? And if I'm being completely honest with myself, what do I actually want? Not what you think you should want, not what's realistic, not what's available, what you actually want. Write it down. No one has to see it but you. And when you ask yourself these questions, notice where your body responds. Does your chest tighten? Does something loosen? Your body has been keeping score. It knows what you're ready to release before your mind admits it. After February 13th, pay attention to what becomes intolerable. That's not you being dramatic. That's Saturn showing you what needs to end. Practice asking for what you want directly, without apology, and expect a getting real period. It will feel confronting at first. That's okay. Restructuring always feels uncomfortable before it feels liberating. Here's what I want you to hold on to. February 13th isn't something to fear. It's something to prepare for, to welcome. The fog is lifting. The ember is catching. And you who have been wondering if you'd ever feel alive in your body again, if you'd ever know what you wanted, if you'd ever experience desire that wasn't performance, you are about to remember who you are. Your intimate life isn't behind you. It's not over. It's not something you lost. The best is still coming. And it starts now. So as I leave you tonight, I want you to remember what you are. Not broken, not empty, not someone who lost their desire and can never get it back. You're an ember. You've been an ember this whole time, staying alive, waiting for the wind. Saturn in Aries, starting February 13th, is that wind. And your fire, the real one, the one that knows exactly what it wants, it's about to come back. Not because something external is going to fix you, but because you finally have the clarity, the courage, and the cosmic support to let yourself burn again. The ash was never you. The ember was always you. And embers don't stay small forever. They catch. You came to this video with a question. How will Saturn in Aries change your sex life? Now you know. It's going to burn away everything that was never really yours. And what's left, the ember that's been keeping itself alive all this time, is going to catch fire. Not wild, reckless fire. Intentional fire. Fire that knows exactly what it wants and isn't afraid to reach for it. Starting February 13th. Thank you for being here, for trusting this, for letting yourself be seen. May your fire burn bright. May you never doubt your ember again. And may you finally get to experience desire that's honest, connection that's real, intimacy that makes you feel more like yourself, not less. That's what's coming. I'll see you on the other side of February 13th.